Y'all know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
This is going to be a hot take with zero cuts because I just want it to be unfiltered. And I want to be so clear that we're as a country. We are. Most of you that follow me don't know that I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I served in 5th Special Forces Group out of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I have 2 deployments. And majority of my friends and the folks that I served with still support Donald Trump to this day. And if that doesn't make your stomach sick, I don't know what will. It's insane. And the problem is, so many people say, well, I just don't pay attention, or I don't have time to pay attention. Well, guess what? Now's the time to start paying attention. If you're a veteran, this video is for you. Go look at what's happening with the VA right now. Go look at what's happening with VA services, right? I haven't gotten paid from the VA, and they owe me money. I haven't gotten paid in over a month, and they just keep telling me it's an administrative delay. That's what they keep telling me. He cut off funding. Go check it out. He cut off funding. He also stopped them from any new hires. They can't hire anybody. A buddy of mine, his wife, she works at the VA hospital in South Florida. And she said that there was people waiting in line to get a job and they just cut it off. No one's getting hired. Veteran services is going down. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about me. He gives a fuck about it being an oligarchy. Take that a step further, okay? If you served in the Army, his press secretary just said yesterday, that the U.S. Constitution is unconstitutional. What the f*** does that even mean? How can it be unconstitutional if there's not a constitution to bounce it against? The whole premise here is if he can get you and every other MAGA loyalist and half the country to agree that the U.S. Constitution isn't valid, then he can run for a 3rd term. He can run for a 4th term and a 5th term because the U.S. Constitution isn't valid. Therefore, he gets to make up the rules as he goes. You gotta, guys, take the blinders off. You've got to take, and if you're a politician and a veteran, you disgust me more than anything. And if you're a Democrat politician and you're a veteran, you're the worst of them all because you have the power. You have the power right now that we don't have, and you're doing with it. You're just sitting there. Like, what the are you doing? Get your head out of your and do something. You guys are supposed to hold the line. And when you can't, this whole thing becomes chaos. It becomes chaos. And then it turns to the citizens. And you don't want that. And we don't want that. And nobody wants that. Now you got Canada saying they're going to cut off power to all the red states. Jesus, they have the ability. And he says, too bad, I'm not backing down on tariffs. Let's see what happens in the next 6 months. You think he's going to do well for the economy? He just said, well, you're going to have to suffer for a little while, but Americans will understand when prices go up. They'll understand. That's what your boy Donald Trump just said. He said that. He knows he's not bringing down prices. He knows he's not. He's helping the oligarchy. He's helping himself become a billionaire with his other billionaire friends. He's helping himself become richer and richer and richer at our expense. And you guys voted him into office, and that's fine. We are where we are, but there's an impeachment process for a reason, and we better start using it. And we better start using it fast. And what do you think? You think, oh, I'm going to put my money in the stock market like everybody else is, and then I'm going to become wealthy. No. What the do you think happens when we don't have any trade partners? What do you think happens to our stock market? Our stock market is largely driven by external forces outside this country. And you might be like, well, most of the big companies are here in the United States. That's true. But guess what? They manufacture a lot of their outside the country, right? And they sell a lot of their outside the country. And what happens when we put tariffs on everything and then other countries retaliate with tariffs and then we can't sell our outside the country and we can't manufacture our outside the country without bringing it in for a massive cost? Oh yeah, maybe we'll bring some jobs back, sure, but then it's still a massive cost. The dollar is going to devalue. It's just, you don't understand. Like, think logically for 1 minute. This guy needs to get out. He needs to get out. We need to get him out. If you're a politician, I'm urging you to call for articles of impeachment. He's already done enough illegal things. It's been 2 weeks, and he's already done enough to be impeached. Do it. And this time, I don't want some Merrick Garland, Jack Smith sitting on their hands, taking 4+ years to bring an indictment. I don't want that. Try him next week. Impeach him, find him guilty, and if you do, I want the trial in a week. I want it in a week. This is insane. It's insane. This dude should have never been allowed to run. He incited insurrection against our country. He literally tried to take away the votes of half the country that voted for Joe Biden, when he incited that insurrection, he literally was trying to take back the country by power. What does that mean? Well, that means that he was saying fuck you to everyone who voted against him, and your votes don't matter. Only my opinion matters, and I think I should have won. That's what he's saying. He literally tried to take away our democracy by force, and yet he's somehow still in the White House. From one vet to another, wake the fuck up. I can't live like this. My family does not deserve to live like this. You don't deserve to live like this. None of us do. Wake the fuck up. This is going to be a hot take with zero cuts.
If there's anyone that deserves to be upset or voice their opinion and we listen, it's a veteran. Somebody who fought for this country. And let me start by telling him and everyone else, I appreciate your service, bro. But we gotta continue to hear from the people how they feel. And he gave it to you raw and uncut about how he feels about things going on. We need to hear that.
Okay, so why is nobody talking about this? A little over a year ago, Elon Musk tweeted the above. So, well, the topic of airplane accidents, crashes is very generalized. It's a little bit odd that he mentions the DEI, which he spells a little differently here. I'm guessing to poke fun at the department. But besides the point, this, whether it's a conspiracy or not, is eerie.
All right, so help me out here. We've got 2 plane crashes. One leaving Wichita, Kansas. The Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. A plane flying into Pennsylvania that crashes in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl. All right, so help me out here.
Oh, man, you just messed me up with that. I didn't even put that together. I didn't even put that together like that. Oh, it's like the universe is trying to tell us something, man. Something's wrong, and it's screaming at us.
And can someone please explain to me what exactly the Doomsday clock is? I've done a lot of research on it and a lot of reading, and I still don't understand it. The Doomsday Clock was originally created in 1947, and it was presented in the Bulletin for Atomic Scientists. And I guess I understand that it is a symbolic thing that estimates the likelihood of a man-made global catastrophe. When it was originally created, it was set to 7 minutes to midnight. But how the hell did they determine that 7 minutes to midnight was the appropriate time? And how in the world does it actually change? How was the time decided? And on January 8th, 2025, it was changed to 89 seconds to midnight. And according to the interwebs, it's been set back 8 times and forwarded 18 times. And I guess the furthest from midnight was 17 minutes in 1991. And apparently, they used nuclear warfare, climate change, and AI to come up with their numbers. But again, where do the numbers come from? How the hell do they correlate events that are occurring with minutes to midnight? I need the answers and I need them now. Okay, thanks, bye. Can someone
Yeah, don't get me to lying. Every time I think I got it down pat, I don't. I'm farthest from where I think I should be or what I know about it. You know what I mean? But me guesstimating with the way 2025 starting off, I feel like we're going to get closer to that zero than ever before. So I don't know. But somebody, if you have a very, very elementary breakdown of it, put it in the comment section so I can read it.
They say history repeats itself. Hey Siri. In 1961, was there a big fire in LA?
Yes, on November 6, 1961, there was a big fire in the Bel Air community of Los Angeles. The fire destroyed 484 homes and burned 6,090 acres. This answer is from Wikipedia.
Hey Siri. In 1961, was there a plane crash involving any kind of, ice skaters?
In February of 1961, the American figure skating team boarded a flight to Belgium from New York. En route to the World Championships in Prague, Czechoslovakia, The plane crashed during its landing in Brussels, killing all 72 passengers. This is from mentalfloss.com.
They say history repeats itself.
Now y'all got me wanting to look up that 33-year cycle thing. I've been seeing people or it pop up, and I don't really know too much about it. So I want to look into that next after hearing this video. I want to dive into that or at least see what I can find. But if y'all know something about it, start jotting it down in the comment section.
Ready to hear about another crazy coincidence? Check this one out. In 1979, German newspaper Das Bestedan had a writing competition. The idea of the competition was to send in unusual stories that happened to you. The only guideline was these stories had to be based on true events. The winner of the competition was Walter Kellner of Munich, Germany. He wrote about a time he was flying a Cessna 421 and had to make an emergency landing off the coast of Sardinia. He made that emergency landing in the water, spent some time in a dinghy until he was eventually rescued. Now, after reading this story in the newspaper, an Austrian gentleman named Walter Kellner accused the German Walter Kellner of plagiarism because he too experienced engine trouble while flying a Cessna 421 off of Sardinia. So he wrote to the newspaper accusing the other gentleman of plagiarism. They looked into it and researched it and realized both stories were completely true. It just so happened that both gentlemen named Walter Kellner had the same exact experience while flying a Cessna 421 off of Sardinia. Now how's that for coincidence? Ready to hear about it?
You can't tell me we don't live in a simulation, bro. We live in, how else does that happen? Something malfunctioned. It was a glitch in their simulation, their matrix, whatever you want to call it. And it ended up making both of them do the same thing. Come on, man. For some reason, I don't feel like this is a bad thing. I feel like they look like they may be coming towards us. So that may be to calm us down, let us know that everything is going to get better. Maybe, I don't know. I just want to use this as a sign of something good for a change. We've seen enough bad.
Turns out, this might be a bigger deal than we initially thought. Did y'all know in 2023 alone, almost 250,000 babies were born to illegal aliens? Cause I didn't. Soon as President Trump got to signing those executive orders, people really began to evaluate how this would impact the country. It also renewed the focus on the issue of birthright citizenship and who it applies to, like those who believe that they're citizens because they were born here. A common question, for example, if you were to end sovereign citizenship, how far back would that be extended? 2006? 1906? Perhaps a conversation some aren't ready to have. Because you know there's a lot of people that came here from other countries, Europe for example, that aren't sovereign to this nation. Never mind. Some interpret the law to mean it automatically grants citizenship to any child born on U.S. soil regardless of their parents' immigration status. Some are wanted to revise this interpretation, claiming the current practice undermines immigration laws and imposes significant economic and social burdens on the nation. Do y'all think the current policy incentivizes illegal immigration? Or do y'all believe being born in the U.S. should automatically make you a citizen of the U.S.? Some are saying this could lead to future legislative and judicial decisions on immigration and citizenship. What would happen if the indigenous people of this land, and I'm not talking about the so-called Aboriginal immigrants from Siberia, use these laws to... For now, Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship is on pause, temporarily blocked by a federal judge in Seattle. All I'm saying is, turns out...
Guys, it happened again. I went to Publix the other day, me and my daughter, and as we're walking into the store, I feel very uneasy in my spirit. I'm talking about so uneasy that I cannot even concentrate. I go and I'm about to walk in the store. I'm like, Lord, what is going on? Why am I feeling like this? Like, what? This was probably a lot, 10 times worse than I'm usually feeling with discernment. Like, it was like at an all-time high. As soon as we began to walk in the store, my daughter, we're holding hands. We always hold hands when we walk in public. And I immediately see this. I'm not even going to call it a guy. I see this thing walk up to me that looks like a human, but I know it is not. He literally tries to fist bump me. I was like, I look him dead in his eye, I said, I don't do that. The look on his face when I told him that was almost priceless. Then he proceeded to say, oh, I need $49. I'm like, no, I don't have any money to give you. So then I grab my daughter and I walk off. And the uneasy feeling that I was feeling, it eased up a little bit. But it didn't ease up. It eased up probably, I'd say 75% of the way. Later, I realized my daughter's in the store, me and her in the store, and she's like, Dad, my head's hurting. So I began to pray over her, and I realized that the guy's wife, or whatever it was in the store too. And I knew that this thing was not human. I don't care. You can say I'm crazy, but I'm learning now as I'm walking more with Christ, I'm starting to be able to discern who is human and who is not. This thing is very deep. And so I walked away. But I'm telling you now, if I had fist bumped this guy, or if I had given him money, or either or, what I think they were trying to do was come into agreement with my finances because he was asking me for money. Then he asked me for $49. That's a strange. Why would somebody ask you for $49? Why would somebody be carrying $49 in cash? That doesn't even make sense. So I knew that there was something going on with that too. I knew that there was something going on. So I just want to tell you, you need to really watch out and make sure that you are discerning what is going on around you, because these things cannot just walk up to you, okay? They cannot. The Lord has to allow it. But I knew that it was a test, because the first time I failed, I touched that thing and I paid dearly. This time I was like, oh no, my antennas immediately went back to the guy that touched me the first time. And let me tell you something, even though these guys were they were different, they had very, very similar everything. Like, it's almost like there's a certain, I can't explain it, but you can see them with your spiritual eyes. You can tell. Ask the Lord to open your spiritual eyes to see when somebody's human and when they're not. But I'm telling you, we are not just walking amongst each other. There are certain seeds of Satan that exist, and they cannot go to heaven. That's why you cannot preach to everybody, and you cannot pray for everybody, and you cannot touch everybody. I'm not telling you live in fear, but have discernment. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say on this video.
Paying attention to that inner feeling inside you that you feel. You know what you feel. And if you believe that demons or demonic spirits, aliens, angels, whatever walk among us, it's something in you that's going to be able to tell you. And you have to trust that feeling in your gut, or that feeling that you have to say, it's something not right with this person, or something not right in this atmosphere, or something not right. We're at that point now to where we have to be able to navigate what we're in. And we may not be able to tell physically on the outside, appearance-wise, what we're dealing with. But that feeling, you can't deny that.
My front camera is smashed, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house by myself. She always says it's haunted because it sounds like somebody is walking around upstairs. I've never heard it until now. I always say it's not haunted because the house is a little old. But it legit sounds like there's somebody upstairs. I will swing on a ghost, or if it's a person, I don't care. Who's up there? Oh my god, they're like, it's top of the stairs. Come down these stairs and I will swing on you, I promise. My front camera.
All I know is she better be worth it. She better be worth it. If I got to deal with swinging on some type of ghost that I can't know, she better be worth. She better be fire.
That's how you know people are struggling. If you look at how much people are spending to get gas. 20, 15, 27, 32, 12, 13, another 15, 24. Everybody is tight. Just trying to make it to the next paycheck. That's how you know people.
Yo, that's one of the realest things ever said right there. Listen, I remember back to the days when I was younger and being in the car with people and we scraping up change to try to take to the counter. I'm riding with somebody or I'm with a parent or a relative or somebody and we down bad and they happen to scrape the change up or you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, put 5 on it, put 7, put 6. How much is it a gallon? Remember saying that to yourself? How much is it a gallon? All right. And I ain't got to go that many places. So, yeah, just only put a couple gallons in there. I remember that. Duh.
You know, there's a psychological impact of the bird flu. And this is an article about farmers dealing with the bird flu. And they fear that they're losing the battle. As we know, bird flu is really settling in with not just birds, but other animals. And even, wasn't it one person? Hang on. But I wanted to talk about this. So this guy, Greg, knew that 6.5 million of his birds had to die. So my first question is like, holy cow, you have that many chickens on your farm or more? And so he's the CEO of Herbrock's Poultry Ranch, which is a 3rd generation family egg producer and one of the biggest in the world. And, you know, of course, you knew this was going to be like really hard on them financially, but also psychologically. The mental toll on our team of dealing with that many dead chickens is just, I mean, you can't imagine it. He said, I didn't sleep. Our team didn't sleep. The stress of watching tens and thousands of sick birds die of avian flu each day while millions others wait to be euthanized kept everyone awake. In April 2024, as his first hens tested positive for H5N1, they started doing the things they're supposed to. But, you know, it's highly contagious and it's spread. And anyway, holy cow, that's a lot of birds. And these people, like, just to kill, euthanize that many animals, like, all at once. Wow. Anyway, make it great. Bye-bye. Oh, and again, this is why egg prices have been so high. It wasn't Biden. And Trump isn't even going to be able to save this or anything. All right, make it great. Bye. You know, there's a psychological
just left the grocery store to buy some damn groceries. Not even a lot of groceries, a bag of groceries. And I spent $37 on a bag of groceries. But that's not even it. That's not even it. Why are eggs $11.19? Yes, please. Someone explain to me why. Why on earth did I just have to pay $11.19 for some goddamn eggs? What in the absolute... Yo. $11.19. Are you for real? For some damn eggs. What in the absolute hell is going on here? I just left.
Listen, if she spent $30-something in the store and 11 of it was eggs, she ain't got a full meal. And that's how I be feeling leaving the grocery store, bro. For one meal. That's why when you hear people talk about they got buggies full, how?
Today is February 1st, one day closer to spring, and today we're over here in Craigtown. If you've been following along, that you know that this is one of the most devastated spots in western North Carolina. Severe mudslides wiped away so many houses, and it actually knocked this house off of the foundation. The initial plan here was to try to put the house back on the foundation and fix the house that this family has lived in and have all their memories in, but unfortunately, after more inspection, we've learned that this foundation is mangled. There is mold and stuff under, so what we're going to do long term is tear this house down and put a new one here. But in the meantime, in order to get this family back on their property, they are going to need their own space for a while. So that's where Liam comes in. Liam came from Baltimore, Maryland, and he has put together one of the most beautiful projects that we've seen so far. He has pretty much brought a brand new house for them to stay in. This is a tiny home. It is built like a house, and he's put so much work into this and so much thought. I just want to let him tell you about his plans here and what he's doing to help serve a community that's not even his.
My idea was to build something that was different than what everyone else is doing. I love what everyone else is doing, but I wanted it to be able to create something that someone could pass down in the future, whether it be sold when they get their life back together, or passed on, or donated. I wanted something that could be utilized for the long term. So I actually built a house.
It's a house.
And I built it in my backyard in Maryland. Off the top of my head, the way it would have to be transported here in sections to North Carolina. I built it to where it would be able to be shipped from this location if need be. I just put a lot of time and effort into it. I really wanted to do something for, there's no wrong person with me, but there is the right person. And I'm really happy that I connected with Jason, and he was able to get me connected with the right person, the right place, the right family. That really means a lot to me. So stay tuned. You're going to see this thing get put to bed in the next couple days, and we're going to give it what we got.
This will be a few-part video. I'll keep you up with the process as it goes along, but this is day one. We love you guys. Keep on fighting. Today is February.
Bro, that's a dope idea. I don't know if anybody's ever talked about that. That's the first time I've ever heard of something like that. And you know what? We should have those. Think about it. As many natural disasters as this country has on a year-to-year basis, why not have a plot of land where we have a ton of these tiny homes ready to go to service the people? Why not have that? That way, soon as things go wrong, people aren't just left out to dry, hung out to dry, just left displaced. Why not have these tiny homes ready to go so we can deploy them to that state and people have somewhere safe to go, dry to go, a place for them to lay their head, comfortable, warm, not cold. You know what I'm saying? What would be the cost? As much taxes as we pay, Why can't we take some of that money and do that so people are taken care of and we know we have things ready to go in time of need?
Welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. I want to take you out now to a developing story in Southern California as protesters have blocked the 101 freeway, protesters around the immigration crackdown. I want to put this up, a post from the Los Angeles Times reporter Daniel Miller saying downtown LA protest demonstrators are now streaming onto the 101 freeway near City Hall, bringing Sunday afternoon traffic to a standstill. Other protesters are crowding overpasses where they are waving Mexican flags and holding signs. Another post says, you can see just the traffic stop saying, here's our first dispatch from the anti-Trump immigration protests in downtown LA. Thousands of demonstrators have come waving Mexican flags and signs. Some have walked onto the 101 freeway, halting traffic. You can see they're providing an update on this story as well. And you can see the smell of tire smoke hung in the air in the 101 freeway overpass. Trucks and motorcycles did noisy burnouts, drawing cheers and cameras. The vibes of this anti-Trump immigration protest remain positive as a large group of people protesting President Donald Trump's illegal immigration crackdown stormed the 101 freeway in downtown Los Angeles on Sunday, causing major delays for both sides of traffic in the area. The protest began around 9 a.m. There in downtown LA. Around half an hour later, the Los Angeles Police Department declared it, quote, a non-permitted demonstration and advised people to expect traffic delays. The crowd grew to a few thousand people who marched to City Hall before many walked onto the freeway near the Alameda Street exit shortly after noon. Video of the scene showed many carrying U.S. or Mexican flags, signs opposing U.S. immigration and customs enforcement. Police reported at 1:19 p.m. that the demonstration had moved back onto surface streets and opening both north and southbound lanes of the freeway. So you can just see the amount of people there, and you can actually see some people walking through on the highway. And just to show you how much this traffic has been stopped, as it's just about 2 o'clock on the West Coast right now. So we're following this latest story. Plenty of different crackdowns, different operations by ICE in various major metropolitan areas over the last week since President Donald Trump was sworn into office. He ran on immigration heavily and continues to discuss that, writing some executive orders about it as well. So we're following this very closely here on Live Now from Fox from Los Angeles.